Welcome to the weekly shir, the Zera Shimshon, and it's now Rosh Chodesh Tammuz, and the sun is beating down in Israel. Very hot. Maybe I even got a little red. Okay. Anyway, this week's we're holding by Chukas, so I'm doing Parshat Chukas, and you can listen to it next week if you like. But I'm just keeping with the seder of the Parshas in Eretz Yisrael. So this is a very interesting Parsha in Zera Shimshon this week in Kapitel Vav. It's not long, so don't worry. He says, "Lo haya mayim la'eda." They didn't have water. One of the two times it says here in the journey in the desert that they didn't have water. Pirush Rashi, Mikan shekol arboim shana haya lehem habe'er b'schus Miriam. So the whole 40 years they had the water in the merit of Miriam. Okay, kasha. Why did Rashi have to say that they had it in 40 years in the merit of Miriam? It would think that they only had it some of the years in the schos of Miriam and not all of 40 years. He should have said short. Keep it short and sweet. He says, from here to there, from this point until that point, we had it in the merit of Miriam. And then, okay, v'yesh the tars. You can explain this. The Beperek Payalim in Gemara Bava Metzia, it says in Daf Pei Vav Amud Beis, it says, Gemara, interesting Gemara. Go back to Avram Avinu. Avram Avinu, when he graded the Arabs coming to him, he thought they were Arabs, they were really Malachim. So he got a lot of merit out of that, a lot of future suchuyot. So it says there's a machlokes. The Rav disagrees with that statement of Rabbi Chaim, the son of Rabbi Chanina, and as Rabbi Chaim, the son of Rabbi Chanina says, and likewise the school of Rabbi Yishmael taught in, that is, in the merit of 3 acts of hospitality that Avram Avinu did, they performed for the angels, his descendants merited 3 merits. What are they? The Gemara elaborates, in reward, in the reward for giving them curds and milk, the Jewish people merited the man. Even though it wasn't melchik. Okay, well, it could be if you wanted to taste the melchik, I guess. But in the merit of he stood over them. The Jews merited the pillar of fire, the Amud Ha'anan, in the pillar of the cloud of over the Ha'anan. It was the cloud. It didn't say about the pillar of fire, but only the cloud. He said, and in the merit of taking a little water, Miriam. And he said they were zocha to the well of Miriam. Okay? The statement does not distinguish between actions performed by Avram himself and those performed by a means of messengers. Okay. Now the Zera Shimshon goes on and says, the Marshal asked the question of the Perikam the Tainis. It says, Isa, the Haman, the Schus Moshe, the Be'er was in the Schus of Miriam. And here we're saying it was in the Schus of Avraham. So what's going on? There's difference in the machlokes between the drashim. The Teretz Zal, but the Marshal gives an answer. The B'schus Avram lo hayu zeichem bohem ela lefi shah. In the merit of Avraham, they wouldn't have been zeichet to bear Miriam, only temporarily. That's his pshat over there. Now, emes, and in truth, the Zera Shimshon wants to say just the opposite. He said we could say nami the hepech. Only in the merit of Moshe and Aaron and Miriam they would be zeicha to get those things only, the man and the Anani HaKavod and the bear Miriam only temporarily. Aval, Vitztarev Zchus Avram, Oh, but now you join that with the merit of Avram that he did for the angels. Zochu bohem kol arbaim shana. Now they were zeicha to get the well of Miriam for all 40 years. Umishum hachi kasav akasav shemisus Miriam dafka garma shalo hayamayim leida. Therefore, the death of Miriam caused that they dafka didn't have any more water. And it's mashma from this midrash also that it was. It says yukach no me'at mayim zochel be'er shel Miriam. It didn't say there was zeichat to water in the desert. They said there was zeichat to be'er of Miriam. All 40 years. Okay, so zeu. That's what it means. Sharam is Rashi. Shaloi Taimar. You shouldn't say Shahayulahem be'er b'schus Avram. They didn't have the water because of the schus of Avram. Elakol arbaim shana hayu is schus Miriam. All 40 years was in the merit of Miriam. Shahari meikayach Avram ayadai b'shachas. In the merit of Avram, it would have been sufficed to get the benefit only one time, a short period of time. But in the schus of Miriam, they got it all 40 years. Okay, now I have a segula, which are very interesting. It says, a short one, after I began hearing about the Sefer Zera Shimshon, I began studying it on a regular basis. In addition to learning from the actual Sefer, I also made sure to get hold of a copy of the weekly Zera Shimshon newsletter, which contains short pearls of Torah of Rabbi Chaim Kanievski, Zechron Livracha, and I bought the English version. Okay. After learning from the Sefer for a while, I decided that I wanted to help spread the wealth and that I was going to get more and more people involved, which I hope I'm doing. The first thought was a simple one. Why not print and distribute the weekly newsletter in a few shuls and Bati Midrashim in my neighborhood? I asked myself, there are still many places that do not receive the newsletter. And with printing costs so high, what better way for me to help than purchase a high quality printer so that I could use it to print hundreds of copies every week. Of course, I would also distribute the newsletter to the shuls myself. One of the first things I did after making my decision was to speak with a good friend of mine who had been married for a number of years and had not been blessed with children. I told him what I planned to do and he asked if he wanted to get involved. He became very excited and we decided to purchase the printer together as a joint investment. The first edition of the newsletter we printed was a Parshat Balak 5776, and since then we've never missed a week, giving us at least partial zechus and learning of hundreds of people who feel connected to the Torah of the Zera Shimshon. A year after that first edition hit the shuls in Parshat Balak, my friend and his wife were blessed with a child, 5777. That Friday night they celebrated their firstborn son's Shalom Zachar, and I don't have to explain the emotions that seized me as I saw with my own eyes how the Tzaddik's bracha came true for my friend. Having been a witness to this unbelievable story, I call on all those who learned the Sefer to take a portion of the Zikrei HaRabim on yourself and to help spread the Zera Shimshon's Torah to as many Yidden as possible around the world. May everybody be blessed with the schus, and there should be a Ilui Neshama for Toby Poznek, Toiva Bas Tanchum, who passed away this day in our very home in Detroit, in Oak Park, Michigan. And I remember it was 1985. Okay? So she have a Ilui Neshama. She was a very sweet woman. We loved her. Okay, Kol Tov.